Well, Terrell, we're seeing a massive response from Chicago firefighters this morning. They've been on scene for hours this morning battling this fire, this building right here behind me. I want to step out of the way so you have a better view as to what we're looking at right now. We are on Lake Street, right under the CTA tracks right now. You're seeing a huge response from the Chicago Fire Department. They're actually hitting this building right now with multiple hoses from different sides of the building, working to put the flames out. The fire, as you guys have been saying, has been burning for hours now. Firefighters this morning exhausted, battling multiple fires across the city. Actually, when I was driving here on 290, I could see smoke from this building miles away as firefighters rushed to the scene this morning. I was actually, just to put it in perspective for you, how stretched thin the Chicago Fire Department is right now. There were a bunch of firefighters sitting in the back of a pickup truck being escorted to the scene earlier this morning to help with the response to this firefighting effort. Still lots of questions right now about how this fire started in the first place, what sparked the blaze. We do know, thank goodness, that nobody was injured in this fire, but the big question right now is what started this fire in the first place. Those are the questions that we're hoping to get some answers to. I want to send it over to my colleague Diane, who I believe has a phone interview with the Chicago Fire Department right now. Diane?
Thank you. Yeah, Christian, we're first going to break down the impact traffic-wise, because I want to make sure we let people know the green line, you saw the elevated tracks there, is actually being affected by these firefighting efforts. So right now, trains are suspended from Harlem to Ashland Lake. This also affects you driving because Lake is closed between Laramie to Cicero. Larry Langford with the Chicago Fire Department is joining me now live on the phone. Larry, thank you so very much for being here. Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Larry. Larry, break this down for us. We're looking at this, and initially when this fire broke out, Larry, the flames were incredible, shooting out of this massive factory building. Tell me a little bit about when this fire broke out, when and how you got the call, and where we stand right now.
Fire response started in the 4 o'clock hour, came in as a working fire, immediately raced to a Stillen box in the 211. We saw how large this building is and the load of fire inside. We can tell you the two workers were inside, and something happened while they were working. Fire broke out. They tried to put that fire out and called 911. They evacuated the building. We have looked them over. EMS has cleared them. Their refusals, they're fine. They're still on the scene. And we are doing what's called now a surround and drown. We're not inside. We're going defensive, working with multiple hand lines and aerial lines outside to drown this fire out. And we have our drone working over the fire to give us a better strategic view of what we need to do as far as placing equipment. We're going to be here for quite a while. This fire is not yet out, but it's not going anywhere from the building. Nothing to worry about. It's spreading. CTA service will be suspended for some time until we can get this area clear and back to normal operation.
Larry, thank you so much for that breakdown. You really said it so eloquently to make us understand exactly how these firefighters are tackling this. I want to backtrack just a little bit because I think initially we had heard it was a vacant building, but obviously that's not true. So this was a business that there were workers there.
Well, the building is for lease. So there's a sign that you've probably seen on camera where it's for lease, but someone was inside doing some work, and the workers didn't flee the building and take off, so they're probably legitimate workers that were inside. And OFI is talking to them to see if they did something that caused the fire, but at this point it looks like it's going to be accidental. And Christian mentioned other crews coming in pickup trucks. Well, 7 o'clock is shift change, so we're getting a new crew of firefighters that were starting their day coming out here, and the crew that was here when the fire broke out now going off duty and back to quarters.
That makes sense. So do we know, Larry, what kind of work these people were doing inside if it's a building that's for lease?
It's for lease. We can only assume they're doing some kind of rehab work or maybe making it ready for lease or sale. But we know that they're okay, and OFI will be talking to them, and we'll get the full details of the investigation and let you know as soon as we know.
All right, before I let you go, Larry, obviously it's not windy this morning. We're so thankful for that because that would have made things very, very, well, it would have made the effort probably a little different. So tell us right now, you're looking at this fire obviously from the ground. We're looking at it from the air. So we're seeing white smoke as opposed to that dark smoke with the flames. Taking a look at it right now, tell us about the progress made here, because to me it looks like it's been very successful.
Well, in fire, dark smoke's bad, white smoke is good. White smoke shows that we have penetrated the fire. We're starting to knock it down, and that smoke was visible over a large part of the city, but it's now dissipating. Wind is out of the north, and as you can see, it's not very heavy, so that's good. Now we're just dealing with the fire that remains inside, the heavy timbers that might be inside, and some contents that still remains. But now we just keep pouring water onto the outside. Firefighters will not go in. It's much too dangerous to fight from inside. They'll just keep using these elevated lines and these heavy ground lines to throw water in there, and eventually it will go out.
And obviously, Larry, you talked about shift change, but I know this is a different part of the city, obviously, but did you have to bring in crews? Because I know you also were fighting those Lincoln Park fires too much earlier this morning, and I know it's a different part of the city, but did you have to kind of spread your resources around to tackle this one?
Well, the OEMC, the Office of Emergency Management Communications, monitors and they dispatch. And what they do is they keep moving companies around to keep the city covered from north to south all the way. We went to a 211, companies start coming in from farther out, and then they bring companies even farther to come and backfill those areas. So we always keep the city covered. We've got plenty of equipment here in Chicago. That's one thing we don't lack is fire apparatus. We just keep shifting around, make sure everybody's covered, and we have enough equipment here on the scene at a 211 to handle it, and it's not going to go any higher than that.
And you certainly don't lack the knowledge. Larry Langford, thank you so very much. We appreciate you joining us live. I know you have your hands full over there, so thank you so much for coming on live with us.